Ah yes, there's nothing nicer than sitting on an afternoon and listening to my cassette tapes.
Get with it, Grandad. Don't you know it's 2024?
You cheeky blighter. Greetings cats and kittens, welcome once again to Baggy Hi Fi, this YouTube channel devoted to record collecting and the vinyl community here in the UK. Well, can you stand to watch another vinyl tag video? I say that because this is the time of the year, beginning of the year, when the vinyl community goes mad and produces vinyl tag videos. This is thanks to Rob Walker over in Manchester, because very kindly he, on January the 1st every year, he sets 20 questions for vinyl community video makers to respond to. And so thank you to Rob. Decided I'm going to respond once again. 20 questions, and here is question number 1. The favourite record you purchased in 2023? Well, I thought I'd show a record which actually came out in 2023 because I was very excited to hear that the Rain Parade brought out a new album after many years. This is Last Rays of a Dying Sun. Legendary Paisley Underground Band return, it says here on the Obi strip, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. Lots of sinuous, jangly 12-string psychedelic guitar tunery, but also some really lovely melodies. So yeah, great to see them back. That's my favourite new record I purchased in 2023. Second question, the last record you bought in 2023. Well, I know when this happened because it was just before just in between Christmas and New Year. I went to Kiwi Trading, which is an antique centre in Hartlepool, and they have a big vinyl section which is called Northern Rocks. I did mention it in my last video, and I bought 3 records, but this is one I haven't shown yet. It's Hatfield in the North, their debut album, which was originally on Virgin. Now I just saw Gatefold 33 show he got an original of this, and I've been trying to find an original for ages, hardly ever see one. He was lucky to find one, but this is an unofficial reissue, I'm afraid, but it plays very well, and it's even reproduces the original Virgin black and white Roger Dean label. So yeah, Canterbury supergroup really, included Richard Sinclair on vocals, Dave Stewart on keyboards. Lovely album. Question 3, a band or a singer who released 2 or more albums in the same year. Well, it's quite easy to answer this question if you go back to the 60s, because the pressure seemed to be on for pop stars or bands to keep on churning the albums out. Luckily, in this act I'm going to show, each album was excellent. So I'm going to show three albums by the Monkees. They released 3 albums in 1967. In January 67, they issued More of the Monkees, brilliant album, which includes I'm Not Your Stepping Stone and I'm a Believer. Second one the Monkees issued in 1967. In May 1967 was Headquarters. And this one included alternate title, Shades of Grey, You Just May Be the One, lovely. And the third album the Monkees issued in 1967 was in November, and it was Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn and Jones Limited. This one includes, actually this is really one of my favourites, The Door into Summer, What Am I Doing Hanging Round, lovely Mike Nesmith tune. So that's 3 albums released in 1 year. 5, show a record, question number 4, if you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose? Quite tempted to say the 1960s, because I do listen to a lot of 60s music, but I'm only really interested in 60s music from about 63, 64 onwards, really. Great decade, but I think I'm going to have to go for the 70s, just for its sheer variety. I think it's when really the pop music industry grew and flourished, and it became the decade when albums became very important. So yeah, 1970s. Although I'm quite fond of the 90s. Question number 5. Show a record by a band or a singer from Manchester. 10cc, the album, the original soundtrack. Great pop, very clever pop band from the 70s. 4 brilliant songwriters together, 10cc from Manchester. And the add-on to that question was a football question, but I'm not into football, Rob, so can't answer that one. The next question, which band or singer did you listen to the most in 2023? Well, probably Hawkwind, because I've been trying to buy as many Hawkwind albums as I possibly can, and I really enjoyed hearing their later 70s albums, buying their later 70s albums, including this one, which I've been spinning a lot, because this is Quark, Strangeness and Charm from 1977. Really like this one because it strongly features Robert Calvert, the great talent of Robert Calvert, and his really interesting sci-fi lyrics. So that's one I've been listening to an awful lot. Next question, show 7 7-inch records. So I thought I'd show 7 7-inch records by the same group, same band, Teardrop Explodes, Julian Cope's band. First one, it's a double pack. It's Haha, I'm Drowning in Your Love. Includes Bouncing Babies, which was originally released in 1979, and Read It in Books. This is on Mercury. Their breakthrough hit, Treason. It's Just a Story. Another one from their first album, When I Dream. Another one of their 80s hits, Reward. One from their second album, single, Colours Fly Away. Another one from Wilder, their second album, Passionate Friend. And another one from Wilder, Tiny Children. 7 7-inches by The Teardrop Explodes. Next question. Who's coming to your party? Choose 4 music-related people to come to an imaginary dinner party, past or present. Who would you invite? Well, just before Christmas, I was watching an interview with Noddy Holder of Slade, and he was so engaging, so interesting, so many interesting stories. Seemed a really lovely fella. So I'd invite Noddy. I'd also invite Dave Brock of Hawkwind, because he's one of the original founding members, and I'm sure he'd have some interesting stories from the 70s and 60s underground. Started off as a busker in the 60s. So Dave Brock. Roy Wood as well. I'm sure he's has lots of interesting stories of the Move and ELO and his solo career and Wizard. Also seems a really nice fella. Also from the Midlands. And this next person I would invite to the imaginary party is one that Richard McCook also thought of. And Richard McCook said that it's because he had or still has a crush on Susanna Hoffs of the Bangles. And much as I like the Bangles music and I like Susanna Hoffs music, I guess I also still have a crush on Susanna Hoff. So I would like to invite her to the party as well. Question number 9. We lost them. Choose one musician who passed away in 2023. Well, Jeff Beck died at the beginning of the year in January 2023. Jeff Beck of the Yardbirds, of course. And the other day I was listening to the radio in the car, and Shapes of Things came on, and I just had to turn the volume up as I was driving, and it's just amazing guitar playing on there. One of the early uses of feedback, particularly in a hit pop single. It was just an amazing sound that Jeff Beck added to the already brilliant sound of the Yardbirds. Question number 10. Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. Which country would you choose? Well, difficult question, that one, Rob. It's got to be Venezuela. No, sorry. Yeah, tough question because, I like music from all over the world, really. But looking at my record collection, I'm probably going to have to conclude and say England. Question number 11. Name 3 vinyl community channels you discovered in 2023. Well, there have been quite a lot of new channels in 2023, I'm glad to say, and I'm going to list 3. First one is Take 444. It's Mark. It's a British YouTube vinyl community channel, and he shows exclusively psychedelic records. He has a fantastic collection. He's doing an A to Z at the moment of his psychedelic vinyl, and that's going to take a long time because his collection looks huge. So yeah, definitely recommend. He has 394 subscriptions at the moment. And then the second one I recommend is Suffolk Record Collector. Has a really nice relaxed style, Suffolk accent, which is really nice. Mainly shows used vinyl that he's found, and hardly ever shows new records, but he always shows really interesting, and he's managed to find some real good finds over this year. Third one is Near Wild Heaven, which is a US channel. Michael shows some really nice rock music, psych albums, punk albums. Seems to have like a real liking for the sort of Cleveland music scene, of Rocket from the Tombs and Pere Ubu and bands like that. So do recommend Michael over at Near Wild Heaven. He has 454 subs at the moment. Right, question number 12. Show a record you bought when you were a teenager. Well, of course, when you're a teenager, you don't have much money. And in the 70s, there were a lot of sampler albums that came out. And this is one that really sticks in my mind. This is a Virgin Records sampler called V, double album. And very glossy cover. And this really introduced me to a lot of weird bands which were signed to the label, Virgin at the time. So on here we have Captain Beefheart, Slap Happy, Henry Cow, White Noise, Steve Hillage, Hatfield and the North, Robert Wyatt as well. So I recommend you track this one down because it's there's some tracks on here which weren't issued on official albums. So this is the V sampler. When did it come out? Maybe about 1974, something like that. Let's have a look. 1975. The V sampler. Question number 13. Show a funk or soul record. This is one I got this year. It's I think this is a charity shop find. It's a compilation of soul tracks from the Sue label, which was issued by Island, and it's the really early Island label, even before the I, but I believe there is a name for that label. But so this includes some soul classics like Shotgun Wedding by Roy C, Harlem Shuffle by Bob Adele, Boney Maroney by Larry Williams. So that's the soul music from the 60s from the Sue label. Next one, question number 14. Show a record you think everyone has, and then show a record you think nobody has. I'm going to show Sgt. Pepper. I think a lot of people have this. Many generations have bought this album. Now, I didn't pick this one out, so I'm going to go over to my collection and just, here it is. This is a record I think not many people have. It came out in 1990 and it's called Ingrown Toe Jam, and it's bands on the Toe Jam record label. Pretty obscure early 90s indie sampler. Bands on here: Lungs, Hoof Lung, The American Ruse, Nitro Puppy, Dog Hunch, Planet Groove, and The Giant Clams. Seem to disappear into obscurity, so it's a record I think that really not many people will have. Next question. Number 15. She's Great, a record by a female artist you bought in 2023. Well, if you've watched my videos before, you'll see now and again I do speak about Nico. I think she was wonderful, a unique artist. And this is an album I got by Nico, which I bought this year, which I haven't shown before. It's from 1980, Manchester Library Theatre live recording called Nico Heroine. Because that picture on the front is not from 1980, it's from the late 60s, I would say. Quite a clear recording of Nico doing some of her spooky tunes, including some Velvet Underground tunes. You can't really hear the band on this very well, which is probably not too much to worry about, because I wasn't very much a fan of the band that backed Nico in this time, in the sort of turn of the 80s, when she lived in Manchester. And of course this is recorded in Manchester, but yes, that's a Nico live album. But the singing, her voice sounds excellent. Next question. The favourite video you posted on your channel in 2023 and the favourite video you watched on the VC in 2023. Well, I think the video I was quite pleased with was the one I did on Joe Meek, some Joe Meek gems that I'd bought. I think I made that this year, and it had a lot of views compared to some of my other videos. So this was definitely over 1,000 views for that one. So I enjoyed doing that one. I might do an update soonish. And a video I watched recently, which I really enjoyed, because he was showing records that I haven't seen anyone else shown by bands I haven't seen shown on the VC. And it was a recent video that Pete from Sounds from the West Coast made of recent Nordic psych and prog albums from Sweden and Norway, and all very intriguing. And I think one of the things I enjoy of watching live community channels is it makes you want to check out records or artists that you've never heard before. So I recommend that one from Pete from Sounds from the West Coast, a recent video he did on Nordic prog and psych. Question number 17. Show me a record you describe as a 90s classic. This one. Stereolab, Switched On. This is a compilation that came out in 1992 of their first 3 singles. And this is a early Stereolab when they were really, really stripped down and just very much under the influence of krautrock, of Neu style motoric, repetitive krautrock, and they just did it really well on those first few singles. So this is the classic collection from 1992 by Stereolab, who would go on to even greater things really, but I have a real fondness for this. This is a 2018 reissue of a 1992 album. The next question. If I could walk into the cover of an album, choose a record cover from your collection that you'd like to be part of. This one, The Amazing Adventures of the Liverpool Scene. I just really would like to be part of this crowd. Look at these late 60s hipsters, all Scousers, a real mixed bunch. It looks like they're standing outside a pub somewhere in like Liverpool 8 or something like that. So really would like to be part of that scene. And I like this geezer here with the bow tie and the braces. Good album as well. Next question I found quite hard to answer. It's like the greatest hits. Show a record you're so familiar with that it feels like a greatest hits. Well, I was trying to find a record that no one else has shown so far, but in the end I gave up. And this is an obvious one really, because it's not a greatest hits album, but every track on it is so well known. And a lot of people would have had this album over the years. Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. As I said, every track is just so well known that it could have been a hit single. And the final question, final 20th question of this 2024 vinyl tag. Show me an album that was released in 1974. And this is one of my favourites by King Crimson from that period when they made 3 peerless albums, the Lark's Tongues and Aspic, this one, Starless and Bible Black, and Red, of course. That brilliant lineup, which I don't think they've bettered ever since. This is my original 70s copies, looking a little bit mildewed now, but definitely one of my all-time UK prog records, although I know that Robert Fripp doesn't regard himself as a prog artist. So that's my answers to this year's 2024 vinyl tag. You'll be seeing many other of these videos around in the next few days or so, but enjoy doing it, and thank you to Rob for setting the questions. I'll see you in the next video, so bye for now.